My role with ICC is as the China Teams Coordinator. So basically when a team contacts us that they'd like to come, whether it's a community team or one of the teams that we organize, they initially contact our teams manager, and then he handles everything for getting them to China, and then once they're in China, I sort of take over. We have sort of two different kinds of teams, short-term teams that we run. We have what we call China teams, which are teams where we set the days and we set aside those 2-week periods for people to come and join a team. So if you're an individual or a very small group within maybe your local community and you decide that you'd like to come and serve on a short-term team, you can join one of our teams, and then we sort of look after everything for you, all your arrangements and things. And then once you arrive, you join up with a larger group of people who have all sort of done the same thing. And then we have community teams, which are teams that, whether in their home country or maybe within a certain organization, have come together and have decided they'd like to come and serve at ICC. So they contact us, give us some dates that they're available, and then we work with the projects to make room for them to come and serve together as a team. We love teams. ICC started as a short-term team organization. When ICC originally started in Changsha, it was Dave Gott's bringing in short-term teams. And so I think ICC really feels like teams is still very much an important part of what they do. Teams are kind of the way that our kids can get one-on-one attention and just that affection and companionship that you get from being in a family that a lot of our kids miss out on sometimes, because our carers only have so many hands and they've got so many kids to look after and varying degrees of disability, and it can be difficult to give them one-on-one attention. Not only is it a chance for the kids to get sort of that love and affection and care, but also because it's a chance for the long-term team, the international team here, to get fellowship and to be kind of encouraged. And teams always bring like a freshness and a zeal and a passion that all of us have experienced, but when you're here day in, day out, it can kind of, it can kind of get tempered a bit. And I think teams really bring in sort of that extra excitement. They're just such a blessing to us, and I think it kind of reminds us of why we're here and why we're doing what we're doing. As well for the staff, it's modeling so much for our staff. So much of what we try and teach the staff is done through teams. Just seeing people come in, getting down on the ground, playing with the kids, taking the kids out for walks, showing the staff that there is a meaningful way to interact with kids with disabilities. And for the teams themselves, I think there's something really special that happens in your life when you set aside that time for God. You set aside time, you set aside a certain amount of money, and you've dedicated it to allowing God to do something in you. And I think that when you do that, it really leaves room for God to come in and do something life-changing. I think short-term missions is something that people think maybe is just for missionaries or for people that have a certain skill. But I think it's really for every Christian. I think everybody should be involved in it, because it's sort of like I said, it's an opportunity for God to do something life-changing in you. And I don't think you ever come away from a short-term trip the same.